What's up, hyper drivers? I am coming to you from an undisclosed location in Nashville, Tennessee. As you can see, I'm not in my usual filming location. I'm in a hotel right now because we're out here covering the ICCC convention. This is a Star Wars toy convention. If you guys weren't aware of the con, it's in Nashville. They do it every year. It's pretty dope. So if you want, make sure you check out the videos that I've been releasing. I have a Warwick Davis interview that has already dropped. He roasts me on it, which is freaking hilarious. Very awesome time. That guy's a funny guy. And then make sure you check out the videos that my friend Evan's putting out on the Spice Runners Lounge. He's got a lot of cool coverage of the con. So make sure you look at all that. But the reason why I'm coming to you guys today is because this past week, Sideshow announced their 1/4 scale Darth Vader, which in my opinion is a re-release of the 1/5 scale Mythos statue. It looks identical to the 1/5 scale. And in my opinion, I think this is a slap in the face to collectors. So they released an article, to clarify what they're going to be doing with their 1/4 scale, what they are calling expansion, which I think is a fluffy way to put that they're just going to be copying their own statues and making it in a 1/4 scale format. So let's go over what the article says, and then I'll give you my opinion about it. My honest opinion, it's going to be off the cuff. I don't have any scripts here, so apologize for the uhs and the ands and the pauses, but I'm not home to edit the video. Anyway, so I'll leave a link in the description below for you guys to get to this article. It's on their Sideshow site. It says the Star Wars Mythos line expands into 1/4 scale. Nice big bold text by Sideshow. All right. With the limitless storytelling possibilities of Star Wars universe, a mythology that is ever expanding and ever popular, Sideshow's art team strives to contribute to that expansion with new stories about some of the most compelling and beloved Star Wars characters through the Mythos line of their statues and figures. Now, for those of you guys who don't know what a Mythos statue is, the Star Wars Mythos statues is something that was released, man, close to like 10 years ago, almost, I want to say. Maybe less, but I want to say about 10. This is the line that brought me into Sideshow collecting. My very first statue was the Darth Vader Mythos statue. And I fell in love with the line. I thought the 1/5 scale size was a good size statue that balanced the detail that you get in a 1/4 scale statue, which is a much larger piece, and a 1/6 scale statue, which is quite a bit smaller. It makes it easy to display. They're lightweight and they look really cool. And so when I saw that come out, I thought it was awesome, and it took me a few years to complete the line because by the time I got into it, it was some of the pieces were already sold out. But then they continued the line with a new series of Mythos statues, and they brought on the Herrick brothers, which are awesome, fantastic sculptors. I thought that was a great decision to bring them in, and they created a new Mythos line, which was a lot more dynamic. They introduced new characters, which I thought were really cool. Some of their decisions on some of the characters and the looks of the statues, kind of questionable, but they're, in particular, their Darth Maul, their Darth Vader, their Asajj Ventress, and even the Kenobi, I would say, were really awesome pieces that came out of this new collection. So I've always really enjoyed them. So let's continue. Up until recently, the series has included statues, 6-scale figures, and fine art prints. Now Star Wars Mythos Collection further expands into 1/4 scale statues, also known as Sideshow Premium Format Collection, figure collection. So the Sideshow Premium formats are 1/4 scale statues that usually feature mixed media, So, excuse me. They have had the Mythos statues, and not statues. They released them in the figure format, which they were okay, for people who want to pose the pieces. But the statues have always had the more dynamic and really idealized look, in my opinion, compared to the 6-scale figures. And they've had art that goes along with it as well. But yeah, so far collectors have gotten to experience a new scope and scale to the ObiWan Kenobi Mythos story through a new mixed media premium format figure. Now Rebel Scum will face down a full might of the Darth Vader Mythos premium format figure, scaling up the latest hit iteration of the Dark Lord of the Sith with intimidating presence and exciting light up features. So the Obi-Wan Kenobi that they released, which was, I think, latter part of last year, when they announced this one, is a quarter scale format of the original Obi-Wan Kenobi Mythos statue. So they did a second Mythos in the new release, but then the original one of the most popular ones, was the Obi-Wan Kenobi. It was one of the more difficult statues for me to get. The original one was completely sculpted. This new one that they released featured mixed media, had light up lightsaber, and they had a really idealized and much better look for the Ewan McGregor portrait. Now, while that statue was the new statue had a new kind of, it kind of looked like a re-release. It really wasn't. It had a similar design to the original, but it had mixed media, so you can pose the cape. You had a light up lightsaber. The pose is slightly different, but that portrait for Ewan McGregor reminded me a lot of the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. And in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, they actually modeled Ewan McGregor's costume off of the Mythos statue. So it kind of made the Mythos statue kind of canon at this point. Mythos has always been things that we had never seen on camera before, you know. And when they brought it into the movie, now this thing that we had never seen before is now part of canon. And so when they released this statue, I kind of felt like, okay, maybe this is their way of doing a Ewan McGregor Kenobi series figure. And I think it's a fantastic piece. I haven't picked it up myself, but I don't doubt, knock anybody for wanting that statue. I want the statue myself as well, but they're expensive now. So that was how I rationalized that they were converting these Mythos statues into one quarter. Um, but this Vader is a completely different idea. So let me just continue. Storytelling possibilities with Mythos are vast as the galaxy, and vast as the galaxy, and we are excited to give fans more ways to experience the adventure in larger format. These iconic intergalactic characters will be explored in ways unseen before, with myths meant to be initiated by the eye and completed by the mind. As the collector, you can imagine what could have been, but maybe never was. It's up to you with Star Wars Mythos. So, the Star Wars Mythos one quarter scale expansion. The Mythos series has captured the imaginations of fans and collectors for many years now, with highly sought after and sold out releases since the initial launch of the Obi-Wan Kenobi. The collection has spanned iconic Jedi, Sith, and alien creatures from throughout the Star Wars saga. When considering format and presentation, these pieces and the future of the Mythos line, Sideshow CCO Tom Gilland explained that the premium format is really Sideshow's specialty. We know that there are a lot of dedicated quarter scale collectors, and we wanted them to be able to add the Mythos line to their collections. You asked for it, we heard you, and here it is. We will be keeping the quarter scale collector in mind with new releases for the future, in the future too. So there you go. They're saying that they're going to be releasing quarter scale statues alongside the 1/5 scale statues, which I think, in my opinion, is a big mistake. Reasoning is just because these are very expensive collectibles. This is not Hasbro. Okay, Hasbro re-releases figures, has figures that are multiple different formats, different clothes and whatever. But you're talking about a $20 to $30 figure, which is very easy for most collectors to pick up. These statues are upwards of $700 now. And with the quarter scale line lately, they're getting near $1,000. So I think that having both formats, you're just making more of these pieces, and which brings down the value. And when I say value, I'm not talking about what a resale value is, but a collectible is supposed to be uh, kind of rare, kind of special. It takes away the special. I think it's better than saying the value. It takes away the special of this item because now you have it in two scales, and in most cases, people will choose the larger over the smaller one. So, while fans have experienced many true to film screen accurate depictions of the characters through the years, there is no denying that the popular imagination continues to want to explore these stories and spaces beyond what has been seen already. Ricky Lovis, Sideshow's designer director, added that the Mythos collection shines a light on off-screen moments from iconic Star Wars films, which we've seen with the Kenobi. I don't think that's the case anymore. And in some cases, like with the I think which was with the release of Anakin Skywalker and with the Kenobi Clone Wars, I didn't feel like that was actually stuff that we've seen off screen. That was stuff that was on the cartoon. So I don't know. I think that's bullshit. The Lucasfilm characters are so compelling, and the planets that they inhabit are so vivid that it's not challenging to envision key moments in protagonist journeys that happen between films and throughout their lives. Regarding the design and the detail of the Mythos collection, fans can still expect to see the immense craft and care put into these unique depictions of familiar faces. Anna Van Slee, Sideshow's VP of Business Development, explained that Sideshow Mythos pieces are so highly detailed, we are excited to produce them in larger scale to bring that level of intricacy and storytelling to greater visibility of Star Wars fans. For example, from the cracks in Vader's helmet to the smoldering X-Wing that he stands upon, all the elements formulate an epic portrait of the Dark Sith Lord at an apex of his power. Really awesome way to put that. So what's in store for the unseen futures of Mythos? Sideshow's art team has teased that collectors can expect to see some long sold out fan favorites as well as some new visions in Mythos collection. For now, if you're looking to bring home the latest, RSVP to be notified when the Darth Vader Mythos premium format figure goes up for pre-order. Okay, more about the Star Wars Mythos collection. So it says that the Star Wars Mythos is a line of collectibles that is populated by characters from new and existing storylines. It brings history of unique details and personal choices to each piece as they elaborate on who they are. Through the design and sculpt process, our goal is to delve deeper into these established characters and offer our own interpretations of what they have done outside of the Star Wars canon. Our art team takes themes and core concepts common to the Star Wars mythology, such as love, honor, hope, despair, and adventure, and then accentuates those themes to achieve a collection of figures unlike what we've previously offered. Our vision is to portray moments of the imagined lifetimes of these characters and reveal them in a new way with new light. We hope to capture the imagination of Star Wars fans all over the world and share them with our ventures into the galaxy far, far away. And that's really what it goes into. So they have some images here of the Darth Maul statue that just was released by the Koharik brothers. You see some images of ObiWan Kenobi, and then you got the Darth Vader. So some takeaways from this is that you probably were going to see that Darth Vader statue with light up features. So that's cool. But I mean, so my problem with this is that they're saying that they're going to re-release these figures is basically what they're saying in this article. So you can really expect that first of all what you're going to see is you're going to see collectors that prefer a quarter scale statue dumping the 1/5 scale line. So if you haven't had the opportunity to get some of these things, you're probably going to get some good deals on them. So that's cool, I guess. But I think that overall, it's like I said at the beginning, it's a slap in the face to collectors that have adopted the 1/5 scale line, that have stuck with this line over the years. And in some, I saw a post the other day where a guy who's had the Darth Vader on a wait list for a long time finally got that converted. Which there you go right there. The original 1/5 is not even completely finished. They're still pushing those statues out. But anyway, he adopts it, and then a week later this happens. So now he's like, man, I just spent the money on this statue, and for what? It's like I would have preferred to have it in a quarter scale format. And I think that's messed up. It's because they didn't tell people ahead of time that this is what we're planning on doing. This, I feel, is just something that they decided to put together. It's because maybe they're hurting for money. Maybe the fact that the Koharik brothers are no longer working with Sideshow and they're over at PCS, which, I mean, that's speculation there. They could possibly work for both, but maybe they're exclusive with PCS. And, so they don't have that art talent that they've had, over the years with this to continue to make the Mythos line good, that they're just going to take and poach on the art that they already have and then just make some alterations to it. In the case of the Vader, unlike the Kenobi, the Kenobi, I feel, was changed enough and can be justified as a statue for the Kenobi Star Wars TV show. And that's there's difference enough in that from the original Mythos. In this case right here, this is an identical statue to the original 1/5 piece. Um, so and it's just a cheap way to get more money from collectors. And I know, and I don't want to knock down people that haven't been purchased the original one, or prefer quarter scale. Yeah, I get you. I mean, I prefer quarter scale when I look at it as well. It's like it's really awesome to see a larger piece. But if we take and support this kind of stuff, Sideshow's just gonna keep doing it. And it's fucked up. It's fucked up for people who have the statue, and they would have preferred the quarter scale, or that, or possibly, maybe trying to unload the statue. And, now it's going to be more difficult to sell that, is because a lot of people are going to be selling these things. So the only thing they can do at this point is drop the price of their statue, which makes them lose even more money. And you shouldn't collect for that kind of idea, but it still is messed up. It makes the piece not collectible anymore. And it just makes it a very expensive, toy. So, that's my opinion about it. I think that Sideshow's practices have always been kind of questionable, but in this case, this is like a blatant slap in the face to people, and so for those of you who are gonna get it, I wouldn't tell you not to. It's because it's a very awesome piece. I've seen the 1/5 scale in person, and if they add light up features to it, I think it's gonna be cool. But I don't think there's gonna be enough R&D in this to justify what they're probably going to charge for this. So they're probably going to say that this is going to be $1,000 piece, because if you take a look at the racks that they had, that's what they charge for that thing. It's $999. So they're gonna tell you that this new light up feature is going to have all kinds of new R&D in it, and all this stuff that they did to make this thing work. I mean, get the fuck out of here. All right, the hand comes off on the original piece. The lightsaber, you could just swap that out for a clear tube. Drill some holes inside of the statue to run the wires. And in this case, they're not even drilling holes into the statue. They're just going to go and do a 3D model, put a hole through the whole thing, run a wire through it, and bam, you got your connection for your light right there. The base already had a clear resin base to it, or some aspects of that. So adding lights to the bottom to light that up, I don't think is going to be all that difficult. So I just don't feel that there's enough justification for them to come out and say that this is the reason why we're charging so much more money for it. So, I mean, that's my opinion. I feel like I would love to tell collectors to say, let's band together and boycott this, but I don't think that that's going to happen, because, we all want what we want. I'm not going to tell you people not to buy this, but it would be nice if we could all get together and say, fuck Sideshow. Let's not adopt this. And, just tell them that, what you're doing is messed up. Get out there, hire some sculptors, hire some artists, come up with something new. And if you want to expand it to the quarter scale, I'm not knocking you for wanting to do that, but at least take and make a new piece, so that somebody that wants it, there's enough differentiation. And then for those people that have the 1/5 scale piece, that they feel, hey, I got something special here that was never done again, that's different, and I think that's what really should happen, not taking a piece and just copying it, because that's just wrong. But that's my thoughts on it. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments below. And until next time, may the force be with you.